Welcome, everybody. John Zegar. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. What time is it? I don't know. 1:57. What's the temperature? 66. Headed on up to 70 today. It's beautiful. I guess you call this partly cloudy. It's actually warm out. So it's feeling a lot warmer than 66. I think we'll probably be in the low 70s within the next hour or so. Let's see, everything's running pretty good. I'm in my truck, running off my phone. Just plain old pair of iPhone, iPods, iPads, iPods that I'm talking from, and hopefully they'll work fine. The ones I used yesterday were a lot better. They didn't pick up any road noise. They were a different brand. But these, I can't recall. I've used them before. I seem to recall they pick up road noise, but I'm not sure. I got the windows up. Everything's pretty sealed up tight, but you may have some road noise. I'm going to, I just finished. Well, here's what I've done today. I've had a good morning. I guess I'd call it a morning. I went down and worked out again at the gym. I do that every day. I've been religious about that. Obsessed with it. And I just lift weights. I don't run or do cardio stuff. I just lift weights and do all kinds of heavy weight lifting. My bench press, I'm pretty proud of it. I'm 315 on my way on up to 405. That's the next benchmark. I don't know when I'm going to hit 405, but I'm pretty excited about routinely, pretty much any time I want, I can go in there and, I can't just put 315 on the bench and just lift it. I have to, take a couple, 2-3 steps. I might go, 185, 205, 215, 275, 295, and then 315. I have to kind of do something like that. I just can't dump 315. There are people that can just put 2 1/4 on the bench, do their warm-ups, and go right to 315. I would like to say I can do that, but I can't. I have to kind of work up to it each time I decide to do it. I only rep out, I guess that's what they call it. I only rep out every other Sunday, and but Sundays are bench day, and so there's a long routine that goes along with it. My routine in trying to build up strength is that I have 5 core routines. I won't go in and bore you with all of it, but I have to do 100 reps of every single, the 5 core routines that I do, in addition to my regular stuff that I do, but I do that stuff every day. And you'd be surprised that in no time at all you're jumping up big numbers. I didn't come on here to do a podcast about weightlifting, but I just went over and interviewed, and that's what it was an interview. There's a guy who was referred to me that he needed some yard work, some painting, some things that I have helped other people with in the past few years, and I was recommended that I would be a good person to call. I've actually worked for this guy before, and they're all nice people. I mean, this guy has it's not $1 million house, it's a multi-million dollar house. His house is a half a block long, maybe, by, I don't know, maybe a quarter block deep. It's a big, beautiful, beautiful house. It would be one of those Spanish California homes, like in San Clemente. There's a residential area in our town that has, I don't know, maybe 6 various blocks of homes like this. I don't know what they do. They just make a lot of money. They probably make $400,000 or $500,000 a year, probably gross. He's lived in this house for, he said, 8 years. So he's pretty affluent. Nice guy. Nice man. And again, I have worked for him before. He wanted me to do 2 projects. They have a PlayStation in their backyard for their kids. I don't know how many kids they have, 1 or 2 or 3. And it's a PlayStation that's massive. And part of it's wood and part of it's iron. I feel bad about the iron part. But he wants all the wood part to be sanded and repainted. Where you have to unbolt each board, and they're 1x or 2x or whatever, and to sand it properly and restain, paint it, and all that kind of thing. I mean, it's time consuming. I says, this is good work. Yes, I would be happy to do this work for you, but it's very, very time consuming. And so anyway, that was one project. I said we're probably looking at a week anyway. Probably. And then, of course, he's wanting to add stairs that, redo sand and redo all the stairs on his house, which is probably a month-long project just in itself, but it's pretty crazy. And then he wanted some, that grass that grows like 10 foot tall, and every fall you have to get a chainsaw and cut the grass down flush. He wanted me to move like 8 of those and do a lot of rock work. Of course, everything he has is rock, stone, driveway is cobblestone, little bricks. But I said, I can do all that work. It's time consuming. And he wouldn't give me, I said, how much do you want to charge? How much do you want to pay? How much are you willing to pay? And he wouldn't come up with a number. Everybody wants to steal everything. And I said, because this is changing matter, right? This is work I reluctantly do every summer to survive, because I have no income. Everybody that listens to my podcasts know that. I have no income. I don't have a house. I've got a truck I drive around, which I'm in right now, with a blown engine, and you understand, I don't have anything, so I have to, from time to time, use matter, me, to change matter, work assignments, in exchange for some sort of currency, money, that will help support me. I always try to, every few months or so, just let people know, I'm self-sufficient and, I don't get paid in any penny, nickel, dimes, quarters, dollars, fives, tens, hundreds. I joke around with that, but, whatever you can put into my PayPal account, oh boy, God forbid, I just would bless you and bless you and bless you. But my PayPal account, you have to have my email address, which is jzegar@gmail.com. jzegar@gmail.com. And that allows you to transfer money from your PayPal account into my PayPal account. But anyway, people just don't do that. So this guy, nice guy, giving me these work assignments and asking, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I can't, we're looking at 5 days on each project and possibly longer. And there's no way I could work for less than $100 a day. I mean, $100 a day today, guys, is like $10 an hour. That's disgraceful, just totally disgraceful. But when you're in a situation like me, we have to humble ourselves. And at any rate, he balked at that and said, well, I don't know. I didn't think about paying that much money. And I was kind and I said, well, you think about it. If it works out, fine. If it doesn't work out, that's okay too. I'm sure there's some other people in town that would maybe accommodate you with the prices that you're wanting to pay. And he says, well, I'll think about it and I'll call you. Well, he's a nice enough man that he will probably call me and give me some ridiculous number like $300 for the week. Nobody wants to pay per hour because then they're watching you to make sure you're working every hour that you say you are. So, and I understand that. But here's a guy who has a multi-million-dollar house making, and I know people that know him. He's making $500 million, 500 million anyway, or 500,000, excuse me. He's making $500,000 a year pretty easily. And he thinks paying somebody to do this grunt labor would be less than working for $500 a week, or so to speak, it would be, $100 a day. So I'm going to probably not get that job. And that's okay, because I'm not going to work for, I shouldn't even be working for that. Anyway, those two things happened this morning. Both of them were good. We'll have to see how they all turn out. So my podcast, anybody who's still hanging on, wondering, John, what the heck are you going to talk about on your podcast today? Here's a remarkable, this is my podcast. So the other day, there's an event that I've been wanting to happen in my life, right? It's an important event. It's something I've been working on and towards for 5 months, right? It means something to me. And I keep I talked about this the other day, yesterday or the day before. I keep hitting little roadblocks like, gosh darn, you know, I thought that wouldn't happen. I thought I could just get by this and go on and complete it and accomplish it and succeed and everything. Finally, 2 days ago actually is when it was, I just said to myself, it's just not going to happen, John. You know, this event that you've been looking forward to and dreaming about and fantasizing about and wishing for. It's the same old story. There's just roadblock after roadblock. And rather than, this goes along with what we've been talking about in these podcasts the last 2 or 3 weeks, having belief that's impeccable and pure and without any doubt, I just gave in and I just said, it ain't happening. It can't happen now. Because some things kind of occurred that put the kibosh on it. Just ruled it out. You know how there's some things that can happen in your life and you just know that that's the end of, that project, let's say. Well, that's what happened here. I just finally surrendered. I just finally surrendered and said, I can't make this happen. I honestly cannot make this happen. So that's what I did. I'm going to step out of the truck, you guys, and grab something here on the road. And I'm going to keep talking now. Let's see here. All right, I've got it. So now I'm just going to put it in my truck. Let's just take a second, everybody. I think I've got it now. There. But, so I just surrendered and said, I can't make this happen. So just own the fact. It's another part of your life that is just not happening. And I was okay with that. I really was okay with it. I just concluded that's the end of it. And this morning, having to do with this event, it miraculously happened. You know what I mean? Out of the sky blue. It surfaced and it completed and it got accomplished, and everything I thought was not going to happen happened. Miraculous. It was miraculous. It's done now. I didn't even get up this morning planning to attend to it. It just happened on its own. It just occurred. I actually gave up my belief. I had extreme doubt. I had a huge crack in the armor. I said, out loud. Can't ever happen now. It's impossible. And I surrender to the fact that it's not ever going to happen. I can't make this happen anymore. It's not going to happen. Opposite of what I've been telling everybody. Right? You've got to have belief. You've got to be able to hang in there and have faith and belief and, no doubt. And block all the negatives and everything. Isn't that amazing? I just couldn't believe that today. So, I guess I'm supposed to figure out what does that actually mean, or what does that say? Because the programs that we talk about and try to live and everything are all about belief. Yeah? And I told you guys a couple days ago, several days ago, whenever it was, I keep hitting brick walls no matter how much I believe, no matter how much faith. I take all the doubt out of everything that I possibly can. I don't allow those thoughts in. I don't allow those emotions in. And I get nothing, nowhere, no accomplishments. My intentions when I meditate, nothing. I don't even manifest anything anymore. And I did a few times, I guess, way back when. But now, why did this occur? Why did this occur? Why did it complete? Unbeknownst to me. So here's the answers that I came up with. I think I have two if I can remember them. One is that, and this is very, very important, you guys, I got out of the way. I just flat got out of the way. I just said, it ain't going to happen. I'm done. I'm out of here. I don't want anything to do with it. It isn't going to happen. I'm not going to lose any more sleep over this. I surrender. You won. It's yours. I can't do anything about it. There's no way I can see this happening ever. And I got out of the way. That was huge. That was huge, huge, huge. The second thing that I think had something to do with this. Just watching traffic, you guys, I'm sorry. So the second thing that I think had something to do with this occurring and being completed was that I surrendered. I just said, my hands are up. You have the gun. My hands are up. I surrender. Here's the white flag. I surrender. I think that was a huge, huge part of this coming back up, happening, and being completed when I saw no possible avenue, way, crack in the doorway that this could ever occur. This is big, you guys. This is a big podcast. This is a very big podcast. You pay me the big bucks to be on the air like this. Well, this is important. Two things I want everybody to think of. And maybe you guys all know this stuff, and you're smarter than me, and marvelous and wonderful, and I apologize for boring you. Turn me off and go watch whatever sport is on TV. And I won't be offended. Two things. And we have talked about this stuff before. Probably it was last summer, to be quite honest with you. It was something that was a conversation in a podcast at least a year ago. I do remember it, but vaguely. So, two things. And again, if you go read the different programs, they talk about it as well. And I've discounted it. I've owned the fact that they both count. But I've minimized them. And I've discounted them. And I feel ashamed. And this is the learning lesson from that. A greater intelligence has taught me a lesson today. Has taught me, educated me, trained me in how to get what your intention is, what you're trying to manifest, what you're trying to have happen in your life, the healing that you are so desperately needing, physically, mentally, or spiritually. Get out of your way. Get out of your own way. Get out of your own way. Move aside. This is bigger than you. This is where you turn it over. This is where you turn it over. Number 2, learn to surrender. Get the white flag out and surrender. Just own the fact that you are in a position where you're going to surrender. Does that make sense, you guys? Those two things I ask, if you would, consider both of those in your program with the healing that you're so desperately looking for. All I can tell you is it worked for me, and it was a backdoor approach. It was not intentional. It was not something that I said, well, I just need to get out of my own way and surrender. I didn't say that. By the grace of God, He said it for me and did it. And it happened. So I'm going to leave it with that. That's huge. And I'm going to ask you guys to consider applying that to your programs and seeing if it makes a difference. So, hope you all have a good Sunday. Take care of one another. God bless you. And I'll look forward to talking to you all again real soon. See you. Bye.